Hello, I am Mal, and welcome to the Corpse and Hound update. It is July 15th of 2015, and Red Hook Games has just released a new content update for Darkest Dungeon. Now remember, the full release of the game doesn't come out till October of 2015, but I'm excited to get into these new changes. So let's take a look at some of the things that have been added. Now, there's like 12 pages, and I'm not kidding you, there's like 12 pages of notes for this update, and I will put a link to that PDF file in the description of this video if you'd like to read in more detail. But let's take a look here at just some of the broad strokes, some of the really big things. So obviously it's called the Corpse and Hound update because, well, there's, you know, corpses and then, you know, hounds. And what it's referring to is that in combat, mobs, when they die, are going to leave corpses behind. Now, the implication there is that we will not be able to you know, move things around. It'll hold the formation of the enemies. Now, an implication like that would be, let's say you had someone in the 3rd or 4th rank that was doing some kind of stress move. Well, before this update, you'd just kill the things in the first 2 ranks. Those things would slide forward. We'd be able to very easily deal with that. Now, you either have to do additional damage to those corpses to clear them out of the way, or certain abilities will clear them automatically, but we'll get into that more a little bit later. The second piece, the Hound part of the update, is the new Houndmaster class. Now, my understanding is the devs had a pretty tough time balancing this, so don't be surprised as if we get into this, that this isn't a little bit like the Man-at-Arms, that the Houndmaster might be a little bit overpowered initially. We'll just have to see. I know the devs are working hard for balance, but the Houndmaster's pretty cool because, you know, he has individual attacks, and then he can send the Hound out to do some pretty devastating blows. So I'm pretty excited to see exactly what we can get with that. Let's see, what else? Oh, yes, an in-game glossary. Seems like not a big deal, but for newer players that come in, it kind of is, and it's pretty cool. So right here, down here at the bottom, clink, and there you go. There's the glossary, and you just scroll through, and it will tell you what the various things are. You know, like a glossary. What else has changed? Okay, let's go back here. Ah, yes. The sanitarium has been reworked. And this is in connection to the way quirks work now, as well as diseases. So those are 2 separate categories now and require different attention. It's also important to note that your quirks now, instead of being 7 positive and up to 7 negative, is now locked at 5 and 5. And speaking of locking something, yes, we got our wish. We can now lock positive quirks. What? Yes, it's crazy, but you can. So let's take a look. Let's go over here to the sanitarium. Now let's see, medical ward treats diseases, humors, and other physical maladies. Okay. Treats quirks and other problematic behaviors. Let's grab Harry. There we go. So now, aha! So, move somebody over. You can see before it's got this little lock option here, and then you select. That's pretty cool. It's actually very cool. Move resist, yeah, I'd like to lock that. So, a week will go by and then that quirk will be locked? Man, you could spend a lot of time and a lot of money doing that. But for your best heroes, it makes sense, right? I like it. I like it a lot. That's very, very cool. Now again, note that you only have a maximum of 5 on either side now, positive and negative. Okay, what else do we want to look at here in town? I think that's it, but I will speak to some of the changes in terms of skills. So let's go over here and let's take a look at, here we go. I'll speak to this. Okay, so Plague Doctors didn't get any skill changes per se, other than, yeah, actually they did. Disorienting Blast, that's right. As you can see below, it's got all of its stats, and then it says clear all corpses. So they have this ability, and then I believe Leper also has a similar ability. So you can cast this, and any corpses that are on the battlefield go away, so they're not impeding your ability to, you know, force things in the back rank to shuffle forward. So that's pretty useful. The other thing that's interesting about the way damage over time skills work now, this is across your characters. So any damage over time skill can now immediately go through protection. And the reason that that's so important is in the last update, a lot of the enemies got an increased protection value. They're very difficult to take down. The Brigand Cannoneers fight, that comes to mind, right? Or things like Bone Defenders that already have kind of a high protection. Those values are going up even further. Now you have a way to combat that directly with damage over time skills. They will just simply ignore the armor factor, the protection value. But they still have to roll to hit, and they still have to roll for the effect. The resistances to blight and bleeds and whatnot for a lot of the enemies has also been lowered. So I've always liked the Plague Doctor. I think this gives the Plague Doctor, gives us all a reason to take another look. And not just the Plague Doctor, because the Grave Robber also has Poison Dart, right? So the Leper has this ability now, Purge, again, a clear all corpses with a knockback of 3. But it's the clear all corpses part that is significant for them. So this gives them some more utility that they didn't have. They've also increased the self-heal, and if you look at that, it also gives additional buffs. So make sure when you're going through and you're playing this that, if you're not going to completely read the 12 pages of patch notes like I did, then make sure that you're looking at all of your characters and all of the skills, because again, a lot of things have changed. All right, well, I am going to make a quick cut here, and we're going to jump into a little bit of gameplay. So let me put my group together, and I'll be back with you in just a moment. Some other items that have changed, let's take a look here. Holy Water, used to purge evil and restore purity, can also be applied to hero to increase resistances. Okay, let's take a look at that. So by default, here are my resistances. Let me grab this. Now I have a buff for 3 rounds. Oh, that's very cool. So situationally, when you're in a fight and you know that you need certain resistances, then you can apply this. That's super cool. I like that a lot. So the question then is, well, do I want to save my Holy Water to use to try to get something, loot-wise, or do I want to save them specifically for combat? That's really neat. The other thing is on the medicinal herbs, instead of just being able to, do things like, purify a beast carcass or something like that, they can now also be applied to eliminate combat debuffs. And it looks to me, based on what I've read in the notes, that if you had multiple debuffs on you, it would clear them all, which is pretty powerful. So when I get an opportunity to, I will try to show an example of that as well. Okay, so here we are. We find ourselves in a little bit of some combat. Now, right away, super cool change is that when you hover over an enemy, below, not only is there a little skull that tells you which one you're on to make sure you're not misclicking, which is really cool, it also gives you their full card, their full information. Instead of being a floating tooltip like it was before, now we have all their information, so we can see below what their resistances are. See, this thing is unholy. We see it's got a dodge of 23, a speed of 3, a stun of 55%, that it's got 245 bleed resist, so obviously bleed wouldn't work, so on and so forth. That's super cool. Good job, devs. Per the norm, they put out an update, and the update is awesome. Alright, let's do Grape Shot. Monsters with high protection. Some monsters have high protection, which absorbs a damage. Dots and blights ignore prot and are effective means to take down these highly armored opponents. Great. Let's see. Zealous Accusation also works. Now you can see the corpses. Okay, so now we have 2 corpses in the way, so that keeps this gargoyle in the 3rd rank. Now you've got a couple different options here. We could just use something like Holy Lance and go ahead and do stabby to the face on the gargoyle, or I can use Zealous Accusation on these. You can see that they have hit points themselves. Okay, I cleared one away. One's got 1 hit point left. Now, obviously probably better to just attack the gargoyle. I'm just trying to show you how the new corpses thing works. Okay, so now he slides into rank 1. The corpses are gone. Go ahead and heal yourself there. Good job. Okay, so this is another good example of where this new corpse mechanic comes into play. So we have 4 targets. The first 2 are pretty heavily armored. Bone Shield Wall now has 67 protection value. A Bone Sergeant has 33%. Now this is a champion level dungeon. And then in the back two ranks, we have the Bone Royalty. These are the guys that can produce stress by using a move called Goblet, Bone Goblet, where they shoot their stuff from their goblet into your face and it stresses you out. You're like, oh! Anyway, my point being is that I've already attacked with my Occultist and hit the back two ranks. Now, normally what I would do is probably actually focus fire down one or both of these front targets. These two guys would slide forward. Then they'd only have an ability called Knife in the Dark, which is relatively harmless. I mean, it's just a little direct melee attack, and it's not going to affect my stress level of my characters. However, now with the changes that have been put into place, where the corpses hold the formation, and different mobs have different protection values, particularly higher level protection values, now I've got to think about this fight a little bit differently. So instead of going after these front two, or maybe stunning these front two, which I might have done in the past, I need to really focus fire on getting rid of these stress producers. So I'm going to use Holy Lance and miss, unfortunately. Okay, now, I think I'm going to do Pistol Shot. There we go, that gets rid of one of them. I'm going to try Holy Lance on the back one. And there you have it. Now there's another cool ability, by the way, that the Highwaymen have now that replaced Take Aim. So it's called Tracking Shot. So in that situation too, I didn't have it activated, but Tracking Shot's pretty cool. It doesn't do much damage, but as you can see below, it does have plus 10 accuracy and plus 10 crit, or I'm sorry, plus 9 crit. So if you're really looking to just finish something off, that's an option. Matter of fact, I might have that as part of my standard lineup from now on. I don't know, I'll have to experiment a little bit, but it looks promising for something like that, where you have someone in the back rank, you need to, you know, snipe them off real quick. This could be a good option. Okay, well, moving on. Okay, so this is kind of cool. I went ahead and finished this short champion dungeon just to see if there would be any other changes I could pick up on, and there's now a new quest complete screen. So you've got the option to return directly to the hamlet, or continue adventuring. We're gonna go ahead and return to Hamlet, but that's really cool. I like it. Now, that was a very short dungeon run, but there seem to be more jewels. Now, I'll have to see as I play through, you know, future dungeons, but I didn't even completely check that entire level, and I picked up, you know, 4,300 loot on a short dungeon run, and I did it as a light run. For those of you not familiar with the game, you can do things using torches, which is a light run, or without torches, aka a dark run, and you get additional treasure and whatnot when you run in the dark. However, it looks like there might have been some adjustments to how much you make on light runs, and since there's significant stress and additional penalties when doing dark runs, you're gonna have to really think about whether or not those are worth it. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead and go to the next. Okay, now we can see here, Sanitarium, Harry had Reinforcement Therapy to make Quirk permanent. So now he has Balanced, plus 15% move resist, is now locked in on our leper. So I'm just randomly finding cool little things. Check this out. So from any screen where heroes are displayed, in the bottom, well, at first I wanted to note that Harry does now have this Balanced ability. It's got the lock symbol there, so that cannot be replaced, which is cool. And then down here at the bottom is a nice little touch. Previous hero, next hero. So you can just cycle through. Thought that was a nice little addition. Okay, so I have now an example of a disease. So you can see here I'm at the victory screen. I did another short champion run, and Redmayne, my occultist, ended up with syphilis. I don't know what he was doing to the monsters, but anyway, that's what he has. You can see here it's highlighted in kind of a greenish color. He's got -5 accuracy, minus 10% damage, and minus 10% max HP, so that's kind of nasty. Okay, so let's go over here to the sanitarium. We grab Redmayne, and you can see he has a syphilis. We want to get rid of that. Now, diseases, as you can see below, if you have maximum upgrades on your sanitarium, they're relatively cheap to fix. So, and my understanding is that if you had multiples, they could all be treated at the same time. Now, I haven't confirmed that yet, but that's what the patch notes led me to believe. So, let's go ahead and treat that on Redmayne. There we go. Okay, so I've put together a new group, and I've tried to build a group, one, that I think would be interesting, and two, focus on new elements. So if there was sort of significant changes to a class, I wanted to include it. So I now have a group that consists of a leper in the first rank, the new Houndmaster in the second rank, a Plague Doctor in the third, and an Arbalist in the fourth. So let's take a look at some more detail of the changes to the leper. So I think I mentioned earlier they have this new ability, Revenge. So they get plus 25% damage, plus 10 accuracy, plus 1 crit, and then they lose 15 dodge and they lose 25% protection. So that's kind of interesting. It's situational. I can see where it would be worth it. In this particular group, since I don't have a strong healer, I don't know how much I'll use that because I don't want to take tons of damage. And then also Purge. This will target knockback 3, and then it has the additional ability to clear all of the corpses from the battlefield, so I think that's pretty useful. They also increased the self-heal, so these are level 0 characters, and even at level 0, it will heal 6 and then give plus 25% to Blight, Bleed, Debuff Resist, and Move Resist, so that's pretty potent. Okay, now let's take a look at the Houndmaster in more detail. So it's it shows here that it could be position 4 through 2. You get access to all abilities in position 3 or 4. You do give up one ability, Cry Havoc, I guess. Cry Havoc and let slip the dogs of war. But it's a stress heal, which is useful. But you have to be in rank 3 or 4 to use it. All the other abilities, as I glance over, kind of hover over, you can see that they're usable in rank 2. I think that ideally this is where I will use the Houndmaster. Now again, this is my first exposure to the Houndmaster today. I didn't get this update any earlier than anyone else, so I'm just sort of theorizing, but looking at the range of abilities, I think rank 2 is probably the best place for a Houndmaster. Maybe rank 3, it depends, but I think rank 2 is where we're going to see it finds a home. Now let's look at the abilities. First we have Hound's Rush, so you can send the dog out to attack. Then you have Hound's Harry 1, where it goes through, and if I'm reading this correctly, hits all ranks and has the potential to bleed them all, which I think is pretty cool. Then you've got Target Whistle, which looks like this class's version of a mark. Yeah, so you mark the target for plus 50% damage for Hound's Rush, but it doesn't look like it's a traditional mark. Like, I don't think it's going to work for anyone else. Maybe it will. We'll see, but I don't think so. Then we've got, I mentioned earlier, Cry Havoc, which is a stress heal. We've got Guard Dog 1, so this is a mechanic that's being borrowed from the new Man-at-Arms class, so we can buff ourselves with 15 dodge, I guess, by utilizing the dog. Well, I guess it's not a borrowed mechanic, it's just a plus 15 dodge. Interesting. And can't apply it to anyone else. Okay, so that would be the difference then between that and, say, the Man-at-Arms ability. Then you've got Lick Wounds, so you can heal yourself for 5, which is pretty cool. And then Blackjack, which is a low damage stun that can be used through the first 3 ranks and into the first 3 ranks, which is pretty cool, actually. So the Houndmaster clearly has the potential to do a lot of damage and has quite a bit of utility. Now, in terms of camping skills, Release the Hound, 70% increase to scout chance. That's phenomenal. Then you've got Man's Best Friend, reduce your stress by 20. Therapy Dog, reduce the stress of a companion by 25. And then Hound's Watch, less likely to be surprised until the next camp. So this is pretty cool because it allows the Houndmaster to sort of replace, at least skill-wise, utility-wise, you know, a little bit of what the Jester would bring to a group, or, you know, like a Highwayman. Those types of skills are now available in the Houndmaster, which I like a lot. Alright, moving on to the Plague Doctor. Not a ton of changes here, though you do have Clear All Corpses now on Disorienting Blast. And you do have this camping skill, The Cure. So now that diseases are a bigger, well, now that they're their own separate thing, having the ability to just remove a disease when you're, you know, in a camp, I think is pretty cool, because let's say you're doing a medium run and you've saved your second camp for stress relief, you can now also, if you have a plague doctor with you, remove disease. So that saves you a little bit of money back in town. You just cure someone's disease right there in the group, and there you go, good to go. The biggest change, though, again, to the plague doctor is the fact that the damage over time abilities like Noxious Blast here, that they pass straight through protection. That's the biggest thing. So actually, come to think of it, in this group, I had Battlefield Medicine because I have such limited amounts of heals, but my Leper's got a self-heal, my Houndmaster has a self-heal, my Arbalest has a heal. Maybe instead of Disorienting Blast, I'll pick up Noxious Blast for the damage over time. Well, we'll see. There's different ways to skin a cat, right? And then last but not least, we have the Arbalest, which there aren't any major changes to the Arbalest. I just wanted this in this group because I thought this would be kind of a nice mix. So I am going to provision up, and we'll head into the dungeon just to do a little bit of the dungeon, maybe 1 or 2 encounters. I'm going to have a separate video, or probably several, that will be focused on the Houndmaster and the new mechanics for that class. Okay, so I'll see you in a sec. Alright, so here we find ourselves in the dungeon in our first fight against some maggots. Now, maggots, by the way, have had their protection value, as you can see here, at 60%. This is a level 0 group in a a baseline dungeon, and the maggots already have a 60% protection value. So I think the champion ones have like an 80 or an 85. They're quite ridiculous to try to get rid of. Now, let's see here. On our Houndmaster, let's try out... What's these things bleed resist? 33%? Alright, let's try this. Hound's Harry. Oh, and they've all been bled, so they're taking 3 points of damage per turn. Now that's pretty cool, because again, that's a DOT, passes right through their protection value. Now, let's see, what else are we gonna do here? Noxious Blast? Yep, seems appropriate. So now this one's blighted and it's bleeding. Well, missed with Hugh. Okay, let's try... Bola? There we go, did a little bit of damage. Flame Grenade! Nice. You missed! Uh-oh, uh-oh. No, we're alright, we're alright. Okay, so, did we just do Hound's Harry again? Well, this one's gonna be dead. And... yeah, let's do that again, I guess. Okay, let's see. Sniper shot here. Missed again. Come on, Cameron, get it together, buddy. Hound's Rush. Okay, this looks interesting. So we've got a couple of frontline cultist brawlers and then a swine drummer stress producer guy. Okay, let's see. Let's blind this guy in the back. Block him down for a turn. And I want to test out this target whistle. So let's go ahead and apply that here. So it's not, again, it's not a traditional mark. Or is it just a debuff? I think I was reading that incorrectly. Yeah, minus 50% or plus 50% damage. No, I did read it right. So it is plus 50% damage from the skill Houndstooth for 2 rounds, minus 5 dodge for 2 rounds. So it's a debuff for the target, and then it's also a buff for us in terms of damage using Hound's Rush. Now, but again, as you can see, there's no symbol. There's no symbol saying that it is a mark. So, like, the Arbalist can't do Sniper Shot and benefit from this particular thing. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. I guess we'll go with Hugh. Nice sniper shot back there. Let's do Hound's Harry. Okay, got rid of that guy, or he will be dead in just a second. Let's try some plague grenade action. No. Noxious Blast. Oh, I found some nasty spiders. Let's dispatch them, shall we? Hound's Harry. That's a really cool ability, actually. I like that quite a bit. Let's see, let's do blinding back here, so these guys can't spit acid at us. Bola up front. And I think actually I'll use Withstand and get rid of a little bit of this stress. Let's... Yeah, let's see if we can blind that one again. Nice. Hound's Rush. We'll use a mark. Just want to carry the round over so that I can do another quick stress heal here. Okay, that thing's toast. So, let's see. Guard dog, I just want to see. Ah, that's cool animation. Guarded by... Oh, so you can guard someone else. Oh, okay, so it gives you 15 dodge. Right, that's a self buff. But then you are actively guarding another target. So I guess technically the dog is guarding, right? The hound is guarding the person, and then the blows will flow to you because there's only one health pool. Interesting. So that's the way it seems like it works. See if we can't get in another fight and test that out. There we go. Okay, so let's guard. Yep. So he's now guarding, so it works just like the Man-at-Arms mechanic. Very cool. Let's go ahead and blind her. Smack these two. Goodbye. Oh, she's going down. It's gonna happen. There you go, stress heal yourself. Hound's Rush. That's super cool. I like the Houndmaster, he's neat. Oh, more spiders. Oh, we got surprised. This might get interesting. Move back. Oh, they dodged the doggy. Uh-oh. Well, this seems like a good time to use some of our special items. Oh, getting torn up. Okay, so let's see. First off, let's go ahead and use medicinal herbs. Yep, now you see the effect got cleared. Alright, let's grab some more light. Medicinal herbs. So it won't clear a mark, just other status effects. Okay, interesting. Let's use some holy water. That'll give us a buff. And then we'll move forward one. So that's all we can do. Now, dog treat greatly increases the hound's vigor for a short time. Let's do it. Plus 100% damage for 3 rounds, plus 20% accuracy, and plus 5% crit? What? Alright, let's do it. Get him! That's awesome. That's crazy powerful. Okay, slide forward. We're getting beat up, but we're okay. We're gonna make it. Well, I only have Hound's Harry in this front rank here, so I guess we'll do that. Look at that. Wow. You give him a Scooby snack and the guy goes crazy. Alright, we'll continue adventuring. Here, let's slide back. And grab the loot. Oh, it's trapped. It's trapped. It's okay. It's just blight. We're fine. Why am I healing up? Absolutely no reason whatsoever. All right, let's end. Okay, so the Houndmaster is pretty cool. Yeah, I like a lot of the changes in this update. Oh, we got the level 1. Great. We got Quick Draw, Night Owl, Clutch Hitter, we got Creeping Cough. Okay, so we'll have to treat that on Hinzo. Again, this light green here indicates that it's a disease. Alright, so for those of you not familiar with my channel, or me, the characters here are all named for subscribers, so I do have an opening here for our named, you know, Plague Doctor here, Bob. I think we could come up with something better than that. So we've got an opening here, and then also for Ackard here, our Houndmaster. So I've got 2 openings here for names on the roster. So if you'd like to be named for one of these characters, put a comment below this video, and I'll try to honor that request. I hope that you've enjoyed this overview of the Corpse and Hounds update, and that you join me for future videos. Again, I'll be focusing in, obviously, on the Houndmaster since that class is new, so you'll see the Houndmaster featured in subsequent videos. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, I am Mal, and I'll see you later.